Yo, welcome back to Gridiron Podcast. As always, I am your host, JB. Joining me as always is Devontae Forever. What's going on, yo?
What's going on with you, bro? How you?
Not much. Can't complain. Good things. A lot of football going on this week. Some good, some crazy, some bad, some locker room stuff. My Raiders forgot how to lose, and now we not going to get a high of his draft pick as I want. Of course, this is when they start winning.
Facts.
Yo, so kicking off real quick, I want to ask, yo, first off, how do you feel about your Steelers? Obviously, we do this every single week. Obviously, you guys had a game Monday night.
They better. If we would have lost to the Jeff Saturdays, I wouldn't have been on the show this week. Tell you that. I'd have been. I was not coming on the show if we lose to the Jeff Saturdays. That's just. I will not take that disrespect from my organization. KP played good, man. Kenny Pickett is definitely progressing. Like he definitely is going to be a starting quarterback for a long time. Is he like on some Patrick Mahomes type level? No, not yet.
Right.
No, I'm the first person to tell you, no, you're not. But like, if we build a team around him, I don't see why he can't be as successful as either one of them. So like, I like what I see so far. We're young, man. We just got to build. I kind of like, now that we got this game, I don't want us to get like, I hate Steelers fans because we all get into that like, we gonna run the table and sneak into the play. Nah, don't do that. I understand our and the rest of our schedule is not that crazy, but like, stop it. Like, just don't do all that. Like,
Yo. Look, man. In terms of my Raiders, before we get into the real teams who's still playing for something,
yeah,
look, man, the Seahawks are good. You know how I feel about the Seahawks. You know how I feel about Geno. Hell, you know how I feel about Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? Good ball club. That's definitely Raiders. Most impressive winner of the year. At first, I thought it was a Denver win, but obviously we know now. Now we know what's up with Denver. But yeah, they played well. Devontae Adams played well. Josh Jacobs was a monster. Shout out to you and everyone who has some fantasy because he was getting points like crazy.
damn right.
Shout out to Josh Jacobs, one of the highlights of this year for the Raiders. They better pay him. If not, Buffalo will, Kansas City will. There's a bunch of teams out there who could use them. So, shout out to him. But yeah, I thought they played good. I thought the defense played well despite giving up their season high in points. I thought they played well, took away the ball, stuff like that. But with me, it was always next year. Next year was the year I was looking for something from the Raiders. Josh McDaniels, we know he's going to stay. We know there are issues with the money and all that. So, all right, man. Besides your team, besides Steelers for you, besides Raiders for me, what do you think about NFL Week 12?
It was definitely a great. It was a fun week, man. It was a fun week. I want to say, shout out to Trevor Lawrence for beating the Ravens. I look, he needed that. Thanks. That game was nuts. That game was very back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I like that game a lot. We look at the Phillies Packers game. I think people like being a little too hard in Packers. If you ask me, like, I don't know who expected the Packers to beat Philly, but like I don't understand. I don't think anybody saw what I saw, but like,
right.
That's another story for another day. But it was a really good week. It was a really cool week. I thought this week was actually kind of like fun to watch, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I really enjoyed that. The Monday night game was okay. Steelers game was okay. I think Jeff Saturday not being a real head coach kind of blew it at the end. But I still think Pittsburgh was going to win that game regardless. The Baltimore game was crazy. Lawrence is proven that he belongs. Maybe not so far as the number one pick, but obviously he's serviceable. He's a good quarterback. He's going to be good. They got talent coming, I think, next year. And I'm not just being a homer either, but the Raiders next year, the Jaguars, the Lions, like there's some teams, Atlanta, who's like next year they're gonna make some noise. And I think for the rest of this year they're gonna play spoiler. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So LA, I know the Raiders got the Chargers this week. Wow, watch out. I know. Hell, even New England tonight with Buffalo. Like, wow, watch out. You know what I mean? But yeah, some teams are playing good. Some teams playing a little sloppy. Philly. I love what they did on the ground against Green Bay. Philly's looking good, man. Like they looking battle tested, Shout out to Washington. I know Danny B. Seuss is in the chat already. Shout out to Washington, who's just keep winning again. Heineke. We're gonna talk about a quarterback situation kind of similar, and I'm gonna reference Washington as a point when we talk about the Jets. But Yeah, man. Yo, with that said, let's go into the first thing we're talking about this week. Tonight, of course, in exactly, I think, 43 minutes, we're going to see a game. Buffalo and the Patriots. And it's a big game. Buffalo has not won a division game yet. And that is crazy for a team that everyone has as the Super Bowl favorites. So in New England, obviously, they started out slow. They started winning some games. But now, here we go. They just came off a Thanksgiving night loss. So first question to you is, with everything going on in the AFC, it's kind of in a state of flux besides Buffalo and Kansas City, right? Do you have New England making the playoffs, or you think they're going to miss the playoffs?
They're going to miss the playoffs because either the Bengals or the Ravens, whoever ends up winning that division, will knock them out the playoffs.
Okay.
No, I don't see them sending like damn near the entire division to the playoffs. I strongly doubt that. Strongly doubt that. I think the sense of either the Bengals or the Ravens, whichever one doesn't win the division, will knock the Patriots out of the playoffs.
So you have 3 teams coming out of the East?
Probably, yeah. I think the Jets will somehow somehow snag one of those spots.
And you think either the Dolphins or Bills, whoever loses that division?
Oh, they're like the for sure. They're like the for sure, and I think the Jets maybe might sneak in.
Okay. So this was tough for me because you know how I am with defense, and I know New England's that sneaky team. Like, if your offense ain't really clicking, they could beat you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's tough because I know they got a game against Vegas, and I saw on First Take and on these shows are like, oh, they need to watch out for that game. It's a trap game. But I'm like, Vegas offense ain't quite there yet. So unless New England underestimates Vegas, they should be able to beat Vegas because their defense. Vegas don't have a defense. They have a Max Crosby. like they don't have a defense. I'm not worried about New England in terms of they're gonna play tough to the very end, but I'm looking around and I'm like, Jets in division. I know New England already beat the Jets, so all they got to do is match the record. I get that, but then they also got to worry about the Chargers. You know what I mean? That's tough. And then you also got to worry about like you said, Bengals or Ravens, whoever loses that division. That just that right there is not easy. You know what I mean? And I think Cincinnati has to play New England, so I can't see it. But that's not because like, oh, they're trash or they can't make it. It's just more so the fact of I'm looking around the AFC and I think there's teams that are better than them. You know what I mean? And their schedule to end is not the easiest. So I can't see how they make the playoffs this year. Although I do think if they can figure out what to do with quarterback, Zappy, Mac Jones, whatever, next year, I think they're live to make the playoffs. And I think actually they're going to be pretty damn good next year if they can figure out the quarterback situation.
I agree with that.
So let's get to these comments real quick. Jessica Brown, appreciate the love as always. Woohoo, week 12. You're like, yeah, woohoo is about to be over. Danny Vitsousis, who's talking Washington now? Oh, we gonna get it to Washington. Don't worry. Washington beat the Giants the next 2 games, put them in. Look, Washington went from like the laughable team of the strongest division to right in the thick of things. You know what I mean? Washington is still live for a wild card over in the NFC. So we definitely gonna talk about them. Best record since week 6. Look, we gonna get into Zach Wilson, right? But I want to talk about Washington real quick in this sense. I don't know what it is about these NFL teams and wanting to specifically always have these draft picks, right? Whether it's Mac Jones or whether it's Zach Wilson, stuff like that. When they kind of got players who've been putting in work for them. For example, Taylor Heineke. I know he's not the cool pick. I know he's not the cool guy to start. He's not a fantasy guy or whatever. But it's like all he does for that team is win. Oh, excuse me. He lost in the playoffs to the defending to the team that won the Super Bowl. Okay, next year they didn't make the playoffs. Okay, fine, right? But it's not his fault. Every time he does well for them, they've replaced him. And my question is why? Now, am I saying Heineke is going to be the best guy in the world? He's going to go on to do all these amazing things. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if Heineke has done so well, why won't they just give him the starting job? And that's my question to you, Devontae. Like, why do you think they won't just give him the starting job? Like,
gives me very Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of feel where it's like you watch Ryan Fitzpatrick play, you're like, how is he doing this? Like, he got no business winning the games like this. Like, if you really look at it, like Ryan Fitzpatrick always lost all the trash teams.
Yeah.
but like was out there dueling with like a Tom Brady or something or like a Peyton Manning, and you're like, yo, this don't make sense. It's like, how does he play against all the good teams and be good? You play somebody decently average and be trash.
Right.
Like Heineke, I don't think is Heineke your franchise starting quarterback. No, and I think that's the thing that everybody's looking for right now. Like everyone's out here just fighting for their franchise star quarterback to where it's like you don't have to draft them for another like 7, like for another like 10 to 20 years.
Yep.
And because of that, like they're not going with just what can win you get you wins now. Like Heineke can get you wins now.
Yep.
He may not be the answer for the next 10 years, but he can get you wins now. And it's like a lot of, and that's what happens when you have a lot of teams in flux where it's like they don't know if they're ready to win now yet, if they're ready to win now or just build to win in the future. And that's
right.
And that's like and that's where the middle ground that he falls into.
Yeah, so like look, I'm not saying Heineke's gonna take you and all of a sudden they're gonna win the Super Bowl or they're gonna fight for the NFC Championship. But what I'm saying is it's no secret. Carson Wentz went out. He came in, and all of a sudden they've been winning ever since. I know Chase Allen came back. I mean, I said Chase Allen. Chase Young came back somewhere within that, and the defense is still playing and all that. And Brian Robinson, he's playing well. Look, I get they got talent. We always said they had talent, but it's like he comes in and he makes plays for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So with that said, let's jump from one weird quarterback situation to another. And this is something we talked about last week, man. Zach Wilson. So we know the combine, it's like his most infamous play was from the combine, right? When he sprinted out and he threw the ball across body like 80 yards and the arm talent and everybody went crazy. And you're one of the few who I was like who were like Zach Wilson's okay at best. And I was like, let's see what he does in the league, right? And I know he got banged up and stuff like that. He's missed some games, but if you didn't see the press conference of Zach Wilson and the way he responded when they asked him, like, does he feel like the lack of offense against New England was kind of letting the defense down? His response, what was your initial thought when you heard that? Basically him saying like, nah, like, and just his like kind of immature mentality.
I laughed. Like I thought it was hilarious. Like that was the funniest thing I ever saw. That was hilarious. It's not surprising. He's a young quarterback. Most young quarterbacks are pretty stupid. Like they're all pretty stupid. They say stupid things or do stupid things. Like God forbid, like I can speak for my team's purpose. Like Ben Roethlisberger with stupid motorcycle. Like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
right.
Most quarterbacks do really dumb things at a young age, but also more importantly, he had no business going number 2, bro. Like I said that since day one. He had no business going number 2. He went to BYU. BYU. Who do they play?
Right.
I'll wait. Most people don't know what conferences they're in. BYU is probably more of a basketball school than it is a football school, to be honest. Like, stop it.
Right.
Stop it. Number 2, like he had no business being there. And 3, he was nowhere near better than Justin Fields in any shape, form, fashion of show me the tape of him being better than please show me the tape. It's like Zach Wilson is what Daniel Jones has really looked like.
Right.
No business being drafted where he was. He has no business being there. And they're the same person. And the only difference is that Daniel Jones has a depleted roster pretty much. Like half his team was hurt.
Yeah.
Half this team of Giants are hurt at the moment. You look at the Jets. The Jets are pretty damn healthy. Besides, like the running backs with Breece Hall and them boys that are hurt, he's not playing good. Like they're not losing games. It's one thing if they're losing games where the Giants have no wide receivers. Giants have 0 wide receivers at all. Like so, it's like their receivers can't catch. They're having different type of struggles. You look at the Jets. The struggle is you. The struggle is you. Why aren't we winning games? You. Why? Oh, you. So, like, before you even ask me, I'm going to answer your question. Should the Jets start QB Zach Wilson? No. No. And no. And, like, would I draft a first-round quarterback this year? No. Would I get if I could sneak one in, like, the second or third? You're damn right I would.
Look, the reason why I'm asking this specifically is because Mike White came in, and I know they played the Bears, and the Bears defense is not anything to write home. Hell, they gave away a bunch of the players at the deadline, right?
Yeah.
I know this, but what I'm saying is the way he's acting, you would think he was out there throwing 50 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like he's throwing 5 touchdowns a game. He's throwing for 400 yards. Mike White came out and he came in and had the best game, I think, probably by a Jets quarterback all year.
Yep.
So it's again like, no, to answer the question, I don't think he should ever start. I'm not gonna say he should start in the league, but as far as the Jets and if under the Robert Saleh regime, I think Zach Wilson might have started his last game unless injury, because clearly up here he can't handle it. It seemed like in here he can't handle it because the way he answered that was defensive. That wasn't no like, oh, I'm just saying this. Like he answered it like a punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And although he's talented, we all know he's talented. He could run. He doesn't want to run it because it seems like he don't want to get tackled. Then he's like throwing the ball directly to guys. Then he wants to just throw the ball away because it's like he has a fit. You know what I mean? I don't understand. But he's been dominated by New England. Yes, he did lead the team to beat the Bills, but New England, I think he scored 10 points total against the Patriots.
I think so, something like that. Yeah.
So, and the defense played great. And I know New England can ball out on defense. Shout out to Tracy Nicolini in the comments because he's a Pats fan. But I know this. But at the same time, Zach Wilson's he's not getting it done. So the way I view it, he shouldn't be starting, because at the very least, you got to be able to command the locker room as a quarterback.
Absolutely.
If you ain't playing well. No matter, like Mahomes threw the interception against the Bengals in the AFC Championship, I don't think his team was like, oh, he's trash. You know what I mean? Because he's done so much good. For Zach Wilson, he doesn't get that type of carte blanche. You know what I mean? So let's get to these comments real quick. Tracy Nicolini, T-Nickel, what up, man? Shout out, checking us out on YouTube, man. Go Pats. What up, Jay? What up, bro? I'm gonna get back to the reactions soon. I know y'all been on me about the reactions. If y'all don't know, check out the YouTube channel. I'm gonna be back. I promise, bro. I promise. New computer and everything. All right. Next thing I want to talk about, Cincinnati. They had a big game coming up against Kansas City this weekend. Already some going back and forth online between Jamar Chase and Justin Reed. Justin Reed talking about they all getting locked down. And Jamar Chase, that's Devontae's boy. He like put money up then, because I don't think there's a corner alive. Speaking of that, real quick, sidebar. You know what would be a good matchup I would love to see? Jamar Chase versus Darrelle Revis. Because of the way Darrelle Revis plays corner and man versus Jamar Chase, his get off.
Mm-hmm.
Darrelle Revis could jam at the line and then stay with you. But Jamar Chase, the way he gets off on a route is crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good matchup.
So, but anyway, we know the Bengals have kind of had the Chiefs number. Chiefs, they always get out to a big lead. Bengals come back in the second half and beat them. With that said, how far do you think the Bengals can go this year? We know they have some offensive line issues in the beginning of the year. They the offensive line starting to gel a little bit. I know that's your AFC North rival, but how far do you think the Bengals can go this year?
They can go pretty far if they stay away. I think they could beat the Chiefs in the playoffs again. I think the Bengals can go as far as long as they don't have to run into Buffalo. Buffalo is the Achilles heel. I don't think the Bengals have enough defensively to beat Buffalo in the playoffs. Especially when they get Von Miller back. I just don't see it. Like, their linebackers are too strong and too sound. Their defensive line, like you look at Ed Oliver and all those boys, they're getting off right now. You got their like corners. Like, I just don't see defensively them being able to compete.
Right.
Like, when you look at defense, I don't think they compete. Offensively, yes, I think they will. Obviously, the Bengals have a pretty good offense. The Bills have a good offense. So it's like, I think offensively they can complete, but I think that matchup between like what the defense is like, how much can the defenses like clamp and shut down? I think I take the Bills defense over the Bengals. So I think they can go as far as them being able to avoid the Bills. I think I felt that way last year. I was like, as long as they avoid the Bills, they'll be all right. They went to the Super Bowl.
So good matchup against the Chiefs, but not a good matchup against the Bills.
No, not at all. I think that's their nightmare matchup is against the Bills.
Got you. So yeah, look, man. Obviously, I agree with that. I think Buffalo is a tough out just because they played all three phases good when healthy.
Yeah,
we know Von Miller's health is a little questionable right now. My big thing is when it comes to the Bengals, if they could put up 30, it's just, can they stop teams from scoring 30? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. There's no defense in this league since you can't put up 30 on when they clicking. Hell, when they clicking, they can put up 40. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But It's that defense. That's what I'm worried. I ain't worried about the linebackers. Pratt and Logan, like they nice. It's that front line with Hendrickson and Hubbard, and that interior against the run.
It's that secondary for me.
And then the secondary, they don't tackle well. And
Eli Apple.
Yeah. Besides Eli Apple, my man Jesse Bates. I'm glad he got his money, right?
No, he about to.
He's playing for his money. Okay, right.
Yeah, right. It's not looking pretty for him either.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's no better time to do it. I think they'll beat Kansas City this weekend. But I'm worried about them going into the playoffs because I know last year they came in and shocked the world, but now it's different. You ain't sneaking up on nobody this year.
Yeah.
So I think how far can they go? I think the Bengals can go back to the Super Bowl, but my question is, they're going to have to play the game of their lives against the Bills because the Bills are kind of matched up perfect to beat a Cincinnati. It's like they built the team to beat the Chiefs, but in the same way, without even knowing it, they built that team perfect against Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
And
I agree wholeheartedly.
And I know we spoke about Josh Jacobs earlier, but could you imagine if the Bills signed him in the free agency?
It may be a wrap at that point.
Right, because at that point,
you got to pray for injuries at that point. You got to pray for injuries.
Right. All right, yo. So with that said, let's get to the comments and we'll look forward to week 13 and then we'll get out of here. Of course, I told you guys not every show is going to be an hour long. Of course, appreciate all the support. Next week, we'll be back. Next week, we might talk a little basketball too, because I know there's a whole thing that happened today with the Jerry Jones thing and LeBron James and all that. I don't know if you heard about that.
No,
we'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll touch upon that next week because that's something I do want to get into. It's like a cross sport thing. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our Lakers. I know they kind of been winning, you know what I mean? We're doing a little thing.
Oh, dear God.
You know what I'm saying? We might be getting that ring ready to to pass Boston. I'm just saying. But all right, yo. Get to comments. He said, "I believe it when I see it." In regards to the reaction, but do you support anything you do? I appreciate that, T. I got you though. I'm gonna be back on the reactions to everybody on the YouTube side. We broadcast this to Facebook and YouTube, so everybody on the YouTube side, I'm be back, yo. Appreciate the support though, and shout out to my man.
I'll get him back.
Shout out to my man Devontae. He did the intro for the channel, so.
I got you. I'll get him back. I got you.
All right, looking forward to week 13. Let's go. So now we got the schedule up. We obviously know the Bills and the Patriots, they play in an hour, less than an hour, half hour. All right, looking forward. Packers, Bears. What's your thoughts on that?
If Justin Fields is playing, I'm going with the opposite. I'm going with Jay Fields. I'm going with my quarterback. That's my son.
Will we see Love or Rodgers? I know he got the thumb and
Rodgers
playing. Okay.
We're going to Rodgers, but I'm going Justin Fields. I think this is better for the Packers. They have a lower draft pick, and I swear to God, they don't pick an offensive player in this draft. I don't want to hear none of y'all speak to me again. I'm gonna go with Justin Fields in the night game if he's playing. If he's playing, if not playing, I'm going Packers, but I'm going with Justin Fields.
I got you real quick. Let's get to the comments. I knew he was coming. Go informers, go, Pops. Since he get healthy, they can go all the way again except when this time. Yeah, they came very close against a very good Rams defense. Ain't nobody on the NFC side or the AFC side got a defense as good as the Rams last year. So no Aaron Donald to be found who's to be wrecking havoc like that. So I agree with that. All right, next game. Your beloved Pittsburgh Steelers playing at Atlanta. Now, Atlanta's another one of those teams I call right now who playing spoiler. Not that Pittsburgh is going for a division or nothing, but it's two spoiler teams facing off. Who you got?
Oh, I got Pittsburgh by +10. This is going to be
+10.
+10. I'm going to tell you why. My defense should absolutely dominate this game. Why? Because there's no Kyle Pitts in the game.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts has a sprain, has an MCL problem. So he's not even gonna play. He's on injured reserve right now. He ain't gonna play.
Right.
So the only person we gotta worry about is Cordell Patterson.
He was a monster.
Very fast, very speed. We can't stop the run that bad. There's a huge problem.
Right. Okay.
We should win this game by at least 10 points. I'm not saying we should beat them by 30. I'm not saying no, by 10. I need a 2-score lead to win this game. This is the game where I expect KP to put it together, because if we lose this game, I'm terrified to go into Baltimore. I'm terrified.
I got Falcons and OT by 3.
Disrespect.
I like Mariota and I like Cordell Patterson. Real quick, let's get a pick on the Bills Patriots.
I got Bills. I got Buffalo.
By
By 3.
Bills by 3. I'm going New
And
England.
a defensive game too, by the way.
I'm going New England
7.
upset by 7.
Throw the ball to Stephon Diggs. I need those points.
New York Jets against the Vikings. 2 teams with obvious playoff hopes. Mike White against Kirk and Jefferson. Vikings, they beat the Patriots after a horrible Dallas loss. Obviously, they're fighting with Philly for the number 1 seed. Who do you got?
I got the Vikings.
Easy?
The Vikings. Yeah, I got the Vikings. I got the Vikings. This is cake. This is cake. They're not the Jets offenses. Mike White ain't the answer either. It's just that so it's like they're gonna struggle offensively. I got the Vikings.
I don't believe something about Minnesota's defense in games they probably should win. I'm going Jets by 10. High scoring game. I think it's gonna be. I'm thinking like 35-25 or 38-28. But like, I think the Jets can run the ball on Minnesota, and I think Minnesota is like Jefferson or nothing right now for some reason, and it shouldn't be that way. But I know what that defense is going to struggle. I mean, what that offense is going to struggle against, that Jets defense.
I agree.
And not Jefferson, because he's a monster. He's going to get his always. But he ain't ever see a dog like Sauce Gardner. Yo, that's my guy.
Him and that's my guy. It's going to be a great matchup.
Next up, we got 2 of the scrappiest teams in the league. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Detroit Lions.
It's my game of the week. It's my game I'm most excited for.
I'm happy for this game too. Yeah,
I'm hyped to see this game. This is my game of the week. So with that being said, I got Detroit by 3.
Whoo!
Yo, Detroit takes the game-winning field goal. Detroit finally gets over there because just how Jacksonville just got over there. They finally got their close W. This is where I think Detroit gets their first like close. This is where they get their close W.
So I agree. I'm going Lions close game as well. I mean 3-7. I don't know. I'm probably closer to 3, but yeah, I think this is gonna be a very good game. Even though I know somebody probably looks at the schedule, like I'm not watching that. I think it's gonna be both of these teams next year are gonna make noise. I promise. So I agree with that. Next up, this is actually my game of the week. Titans at Philly, and the reason why Philly's defensive front is physical, but so is that Titans offensive line. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm looking for. How can Philly's had some trouble stopping the run, and now you got a 6'2", 240-pound back who can run, and Derrick Henry and the crew. So with this one, I think Philly actually gets their second loss of the year. I think Titans win by 7, and I think that running attack is why. And then Tannehill, we know he can do play action. We know he gets into trouble when you shut down a run. He got to actually go win the game. But I think they'll be able to run, which means they'll be able to do the screen game, which means they'll be able to do play action. I'm going with Tennessee by 7.
That's actually different because we're on 2 different sides of the spectrum. This is a blowout to me. I got the Eagles by 3 touchdowns. Like I do not believe.
Yo,
I got the Eagles by 3 touchdowns. I want to like the Titans so bad, but every year, like they got no receivers, bro. I'm sorry, like they got no receivers, bro. Like this
3 touchdowns
by 3 touchdowns. They got no wideouts at all for him to throw the ball to. Ain't nobody scared of Robert Woods. Like, so what that does is, all right, I'm sorry, I don't see you winning no game in the NFL just going on 12-man personnel. Like, I'm sorry. Like I don't care how you dress it. I don't care how you dress it. You gotta throw the ball. And if you can't throw the ball, it makes it 40 times. If teams get you in 2nd and 9s and 3rd and 8s, they gonna lose. They gonna lose the game every time, just like butter. So just like butter. And think about it. The Bengals defense is not as good as the Eagles defense in any shape, form, fashion, or the imagination. They had no problem with the Titans because they got no receivers. So when you have no receivers, you can just put everybody on the line. You can play man-to-man you can play cover 1, Kate cover 1, and then just put everybody else on the line.
Right.
And that's where I think the Eagles, and they got, I don't think, and the thing is, the Eagles offense is so complicated with this RPO stuff is that teams are still trying to figure it out. They're going I like the Titans defense, actually. I actually think they got some key components, but they don't got enough right now for that. They ain't got to.
So you got Philly by at 18 to 21 points.
Yep, clipping them at home.
and I
clipping them
got
out.
Tennessee by 7.
Yep.
Look, Philly's offense, and we'll talk about this next week as well. The way I know everybody runs a read option, everybody runs that and all that, right? Blah, blah, blah. The way they run zone read in the read option is different because every single play looks exactly the same. Hike, ball into the gut of the back, and you don't know if he's taking it, if Hurts is keeping it, if it's a play action, if it's an RPO. Like, it's crazy the way it's designed, man.
That's
it's
so much.
crazy.
You have to have so much patience because
Right.
I'd be too like, give me the ball, bro. Move out the way. Like,
as a defender, I don't know how the hell you defend that. Comment real quick from Glenn Foreman. He said, Pitt by 10, Devontae even sneaking my cognac. Falcons by 3, Pats beat Bills by 5, Vikings over Jets. Jets offense is still not there despite Mike White starting. Jaguars over Lions by 4, Titans will beat Eagles by 4. So we agree that Titans will beat Philly. But yeah, so
Steelers by 10. Steelers by 10. I stand on that. Steelers by 10. Why? Because we should have beat the Colts by 10. We should have beat the Colts by 10. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be like 10 points. First of all, 10 points is not a blowout.
No, it's not. No, that's not.
Not a lot.
Do
I think we can score 7, stop them on defense, and then get to there and kick a field goal and then just hold them out? Yes, I do.
Right.
Yes, I do.
All right, so let's get to these next slate of games. Deshaun Watson's return game against his former team, the Texans. What do you got? I'm going Browns. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going Browns by 7 or 10.
Yeah, Browns by 10. Browns by 10.
Yeah. This next one's a big game. We probably wouldn't have thought so coming into the year, but it's a huge game. Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Obviously, big division implications, big playoff implications with the wild card. This one is tough, man, because I rock with Dayball and the Giants and the way he's been coaching his team. But Washington they coming, bro. And this is tough. I love Barkley. I love the rushing attack for Washington. I'm going Commanders. Close game win and field goal. Commanders. I think the Commanders. I think they on to something right now. It may be too late for this year, but they on to something. I think they beat the Giants.
I share the same exact sentiment, word for word. I got them literally word for word. Everything you said, I literally agree.
Shout out to Matthew Harris. He says Giants by 3. Look, it's gonna be a close game. So if the Giants win by 3, I'm not gonna be mad at that pick, like of me being wrong on that particular pick. So yeah. All right. The next game we got Broncos at the Ravens. Broncos country. Let's ride against the Baltimore Ravens. Look, I think Baltimore's gonna come out. I think they're gonna be heated for the way they played. They let that game slip last week. So which basically let the Bengals back in. You know what I mean? Not that the Bengals were out of the race, but it kind of let the Bengals sneak back in. I think Baltimore's going to blow them out. I think Baltimore, they're tired of blowing these leads, and the Broncos don't got the offense to come back. I think Baltimore, they win this by at least 14 points.
Agree. They're gonna slap the fire out of the Broncos.
And then one of the defensive linemen gonna punch Russell Wilson in the face.
Facts.
Now this game is this one that was close to my game of the week, but I went with Philly and Tennessee instead. The Dolphins at the 49ers. The 49ers defense is something that is hot right now. But also the Dolphins offense is electric. Obviously Hill, Waddle, Jeff Wilson and the crew, obviously former 49er, of course. This one I went back and forth. Basically, it's going with the safe with Garoppolo versus the electric with Tua and Hill. And I went with the Dolphins. Close game. I think Dolphins will cause Jimmy G to turn over the rock late. And that's the only reason. But whether it's 27-24, 31-28, I'm going Dolphins over the Niners by 3.
I got the Niners over the Dolphins by 3. I think it's time for the Dolphins to actually lose a game. I think this is going to be the game they lose.
Okay. That's a tough game.
Just off fate.
Next slate of games. So now we get into the 4:00 window. Seahawks at the Rams. Seahawks are coming off a big loss to the Raiders, only for their own playoff implications. The Raiders really got nothing to play for. But that hurt them because the Niners won. So they got the Rams, beat up Rams. I don't think Stafford might not play. We know Cooper Kupp is out. We know who's the guy that got from the Bears again? Receiver.
It don't matter. But continue.
But yeah, he's out too. Seahawks, I think Seahawks rolled this time.
Seahawks roll this game easy.
All right. Next up, big game playoff implications for the Chargers. But now they're playing a division rival with the Raiders. Last time they played, despite Carr throwing 3 picks, they lost by 5. I'm going to say Chargers win close game. They always play close games. So I think Chargers will win by a close game by 3. Herbert drives them down, beats the Raiders.
It's like because it's the game you shouldn't win. I'm going with your Raiders by 7. I think Devontae Adams hits the game, catches the game on a touchdown.
I'll be tight.
Which you're going to be very upset because when Devontae Adams does catch his game-winning TD, like last week, Josh Jacobs ran an 80-yard touchdown. Yeah, this is how you keep Josh McDaniels, and you're going to be better.
I know.
I know Raiders history, bro. I know Raiders history. So, this is a very, very likely I win this game.
And the problem is the media is going to hype them up, too. They're going to be like, well, I know they got off to a horrible start, but new coach, new system. But towards the end, they beat the Chargers. They beat the Seahawks. And then he's going to be there for 10 years. Let's get to these comments real quick. Matt Harris, it's good, bro. He said, Ravens need them to keep me alive in the survival league. Yeah, you need them to stop blowing leads. That's what you need. Glenn Foreman, he is hopeful. God bless his heart. Browns by 14. Giants at home, win by 3. Agree, though. Commanders are coming. Won't say Commanders. Russell gets his first big-time victory, quiets critics, and Sierra sings in the locker room. Broncos country, let's ride. Niners will beat the Fins by 10. Niners too physical. No, yeah, they play. If they can knock them around, then yeah, that dude, what's his name? Hufanga.
Mm-hmm.
He a dog. He be flying around the field. Sometimes I'd be like, yo, you gonna hurt yourself flying around like that. But yeah, he a dog. Another one, Glenn Foreman. Rams upset Seattle by 6. Old Geno returns. Raiders beat Chargers last second field goal. All right, let's get to these next slate of games. Obviously, we know Pop's thoughts on this one. Cincinnati takes on the Chiefs at home. Cincinnati, they get to play in the jungle against the Chiefs. This is a tough one, man. I was going Kansas City probably did like this entire week, but just seeing the back and forth between Justin Reed and Jamar Chase, I'm going Bengals. I'm going Bengals. Close game. 3, 4 points.
I got the Bengals by 3.
I think just like you said with Miami, I think it's time for the Chiefs to lose another game so get them focused for the playoffs.
Yeah.
2 games left to talk about. Sunday night, we got the Fighting Jeff Saturdays against Dallas. I'm telling you right now, I can't believe I'm saying this. The Colts gonna beat Dallas in the upset. I'm telling you, bro. I need this for.
I was gonna say the same thing. I need to watch First Take on Monday. So I desperately need the Cowboys to blow this game just so I can laugh.
Yo, it's crazy. I know it's coming. I
pray the Colts win this game.
I'm going Colts game-winning field goal.
It'll be hilarious.
I know Dallas. I think basically the same loss the Vikings took to Dallas in terms of the way it hurt. I think this one's gonna hurt when Dallas loses to the Colts.
Yeah, this gonna be painful.
And last but not least, the game. I'm sure Lattimore and Mike Evans will be suspended next week. We got the Saints and the Buccaneers. The Bucs just lost a horrible game to the Browns. Not that the Browns are trash, but the Bucs can't afford to drop no more games. I think the Bucs will actually beat the Saints, which will be the first time they swept the Saints in a long time.
I agree.
I think they'll beat the Saints, but if they lose to the Saints, and I think the Bucs are done. They'll make the playoffs, but they'll be a quick out.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with every statement wholeheartedly. I got the Bucs in this game. Pretty simple.
Get to this chat. Matt Harris, I think Bengals need that win to look strong. I agree because they've been winning games, but I think now it's like here come the test, right? Kansas City's been kind of standard bearer of consistency this year. They've only Mahomes threw 2 picks, and that's why they lost the 2 games. Mm-hmm. I think Cincinnati beat them. I think they need to beat them a little bit more than Kansas City. He also said JT going to run all over the yeah. Like that's what I'm worried about with Dallas. I think they're gonna come in head high. They just beat the Giants. They running down on Philly, who's coming up. I think this is the perfect trap game that they're going to lose. I think Taylor going to rush for about 200 yards on them.
Oh, yeah.
And then Glenn Foreman says, damn, D, Say it with your chest. Bengals by 1. Cowboys will beat Colts. The Bucks beat Saints by 14. I don't know what the Saints are doing. They're another one with a quarterback like weirdness going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all we got for this week. Of course, we'll be back next week with a little longer show. We're gonna talk about some other teams next week. We're gonna of course recap what's going on this weekend. And of course, look forward to week 14, which is crazy to think about, right? Like now it's already about to be week 14. But as always, I'm JB. That's Devontae Forever. Let them know where they can find you.
At Devontae Forever and everything.
No doubt. And we appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.